a playlist original.
All right, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Back to the Blockbuster with your host KS and Jackson. A news episode with some exciting news today. Some of it came in as of yesterday. The first one on our list. It was funny how it felt like it just dropped in the middle of the day, like randomly. Usually, this seems like something that would have more like of an early morning. Let's let it marinate the entire day kind of vibe. But I guess no matter when it dropped, it was going to be big news. But I'll let you kind of take it because I know like this is a director that you love and. Not necessarily taking
Yes.
on a franchise that you love, but like still might get you more interested in said franchise.
Oh, I mean, I love the recent additions to this franchise. It's not that I don't like, it's just that I guess I'm not as familiar with some of the more staple movies in the James Bond franchise, but the Daniel Craig movies I am super fond of. And I did not see this coming at all. But Denis Villeneuve, who's famous for right now, he's piloting the Dune franchise, with those last two movies being absolute spectacles. He's like on top of the world right now. Is directing probably one of, if not, I think there's a conversation to be had that he's one of the most prolific directors of his time. He'll be directing Bond 26, which I'm guessing is just the working title of the next Bond movie. And I don't even know. I've heard that Aaron Pierre of Netflix's that movie on Netflix we talked about it last year. I can't remember what it's called.
I know you're talking about. He's gonna be on the
Yeah.
Lanterns show too for DC.
He's being looked at for Bond. I don't know though. I was going to ask you if that was that. I'm assuming I would know if that was confirmed.
I don't know if officially, but I think he's a name that fans are bringing up.
Okay, so it's a fan thing.
And some people think that's a good choice.
I think he was great.
It's funny because when this news dropped yesterday, the old names that have been like tossed around a lot were just brought back up again because they're like, hey, like it's a brand new day. It's Amazon MGM Studios, like we told you, is they've taken over complete creative control of the franchise from Barbara Broccoli. And like I know at the time we were like, hey, it's gonna suck because it's no longer a family affair anymore. And like, will it make it more commercial? Will they kind of like prequelize it and spin off it and all that stuff? But this is a good first decision on their part. I mean, this is a really innovative director, and someone's been pointing out online that like other than Nolan, this is a director that has fully embraced the IMAX format of filmmaking too. So that's another really good thing I think as well for the franchise. But yeah, a lot of those older names like Henry Cavill, Idris Elba, they've popped back up again because like they're like, hey, like we can go from scratch. Like maybe he'll accept those names as viable candidates for 007. I think the issue with some of those names, Henry Cavill, Idris Elba, if they want what I remember being the case when they were trying to figure out who should be the next Bond, if they want him for like 4 movies or more, or however many they want to do, he needs to be a certain age because like it's going to take a while to do a certain amount of movies at any given time. So Henry Cavill certainly doesn't look old, but he's like, I think is he 40? He's in his late 30s or early 40s. Like,
he's gotta be in his 40s now, which is honestly like prime, but this is going to be a decade-long affair.
Yeah.
So whoever is cast the next Bond is going to be in the role for probably 10 or 15 years. He was born in 83, so yeah, he's
so like 41. So 40, 41. So he'd be older than me. Yeah. So like 41. Yeah. Idris Elba is even older than that. So
Idris Elba's 50s. I'm pretty sure.
So that might not work. I've seen Theo James tossed around. I think he's someone else who surprisingly I thought was younger. I think he's in his early, like I think he's around that age that Harry Cavill's at too.
Okay.
Even though Theo James looks younger than that. He's another one that looks the part. Jonathan Bailey's name's been tossed around lately. And I just wonder, I wouldn't care at all because like no matter if the actor's good, the actor's good. Jonathan Bailey is openly gay, and I just wonder if fans would be a-okay with an actor who is openly gay playing James Bond. I just know how the internet can be. I know how fandom can be.
Controversial casting, no matter who it is, and I can foresee if it's not the conventional Bond that we've seen, that there will be uproar from certain factions of the internet, regardless of who they cast. Like you're never going to please everybody, but Aaron Taylor Johnson's another one of those names that's been flowing around too.
and I feel like his name has been in the mix more so than a lot of them. And I think maybe even during the time that Barbara Broccoli was still running things with the franchise, I think I don't know for sure, but it seems like they have at least spoken with him about doing it. Um, he seems like, and he's younger than all of them, so
Yeah,
like he would be a pretty solid choice, I think. Also a good actor. I saw 28 Years Later last week, and
me too. He's great.
I thought he was pretty good in the movie, and he's usually good in like a lot of the stuff he's in. So I mean,
That movie was wild.
yeah, it was. I know we hadn't even talked about it.
No,
It was an experience. I there was things I loved, and I honestly overall loved it as a movie. It made some choices that I'm still not sure about, but I just kind of went with it. you
yeah,
know, Maybe it'll be explained more in the next one. So we'll just go with
I'm
that.
counting on it for sure. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, but now I guess the big thing is who will be the next James Bond. But now they got a solid director. I saw some people online. There were some naysayers saying that this was a boring choice, that he would be more
okay,
suited for like he'd be more suited for the Craig era of Bond movies. And you know, there are pocket of fans that want the movies to be more fun and less serious. And I guess they feel like the Craig era Bond films were too serious. I have no dog in that fight. I thought they were really good
yeah,
movies. Um,
yeah, me too.
I don't want them to go. I don't want them to get too silly. You know what I mean? I think it'd be hard to like kind of go back to that.
Hmm.
I think we're long gone from the days of like even like the Pierce Brosnan era of James Bond movies that played things
Yeah,
more for not last, but like play things like a little bit more campy. Um,
yeah.
I
That's not what I wanted of James Bond. Like I like
yeah
the Craig movies for a reason and how they're made and taken. So
yeah
that's why I'm pumped about Denis Villeneuve doing that because that's his style.
yeah. And do you think like do you like for those that are saying that if he's a boring choice, can you even see why they would say that? Like I don't even like. I was trying to like he seemed like he'd be a universally loved pick for this. I mean, I guess on like the one hand, he doesn't seem like someone that could do something like this, but then I think back, I'm like, he did Sicario, like he's
Oh
really
my God,
diverse,
yeah,
like
yeah,
filmmaker in terms of like I think everyone's just thinking about his like Arrival and like Dune output and like kind of forgetting that
yeah.
he can tackle like a lot of different stuff. But I don't think it's a poor choice at all. I think it's a very
It's
inventive choice.
one of the best choices that they made, that Amazon and MGM made since getting the
Yeah.
rights. So that's a great start to wherever the series is going.
And I heard other names that were in the mix were like David Yates, Jonathan Nolan was in the mix,
Oh,
not
to
Chris,
direct?
but Jonathan. Yeah,
Oh,
he was in the mix
okay.
too. I think it's Edward Berger was also in the mix too,
Interesting. That would
for
have
a
been
bit.
cool.
But I guess Denny might have pitched him on like a. But also, this seems like even though he is a great director and like a universally acclaimed director, I don't think they just give this to him without him pitching something that will work. And I think he probably pitched them something that would work, and that's also why they went with him. So I
Yeah.
think I think it's a combination of a few things. And he's a lifelong James Bond fan, according to his statement. So I'm excited. I think that makes me more excited for this than I originally
Yeah.
was. So
Yeah, me too.
uh,
It's heading in a good direction.
yeah. In other directing news, Doug Liman is directing a film adaptation of Stephen King's novel The Stand, which has been known to be a daunting task for a lot of people because it's King's longest work. It's at 1,152 pages,
Oh my God.
which is why it's been done mostly as a miniseries. They did one in 1994, and they did another one in 2020. But on the film front, a lot of directors have tried to go at it, but it never came to fruition. George A. Romero tried his hand at doing it, at least developing one, didn't work out. David Yates tried to develop one, and so did Ben Affleck, and it didn't work out. This is another one of those things where they said Doug Liman seems like an odd choice for this. But what do you think about Doug Liman tackling Stephen King's The Stand?
Um, I actually, so The Stand, I love Stephen King. This has always been one of those properties of his that I don't know a lot about. I don't even really know the Coles notes of the property of like what The Stand is even about. I think Doug Liman is a really good director. He's got an interesting filmography. He's done a lot of great stuff, and so I totally think that he is a suitable fit for something like this. But truth be told, I don't really know much. It might be something that I'm going to do some research on and maybe check out some previous adaptations of it. And I love Stephen King, but I am looking at it on Wikipedia right now, at least King's novel, and it says it is an post-apocalyptic dark fantasy novel. Plot centering on a deadly pandemic of weaponized influenza and its aftermath, in which some of the few surviving humans gather into factions that are each led by a personification of either good or evil and are fated to clash with each other. That sounds pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's a pretty. I mean, I've never read the book, but I've seen both miniseries, and it seems like it'd be suited for that because there's a lot to pack into like one movie. But they said that any screenwriter, they said that this would be a dream job for a screenwriter who would be down to adapt his very, very long source material. And how fitting that they did this in 2020, because I'm watching that in 2020 as a miniseries based on like what it's about, what's been like kind of like everyone was into those kind of stories. Everyone wanted to watch Contagion and stuff like that because of what was going on in like the real world with the pandemic and all that. So those stories became more prevalent to watch for some reason, even though we were living it a bit. I don't know why everyone was like so into like, oh, I want to watch movies like this. I was like, oh,
I know. I was one of those in the worst way.
I was like, but Doug Liman. I mean, I don't think he's ever done anything quite like this. This is someone he did like, the Firstborn. He did the Born Identity, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Go, Swingers back in the day. So I mean, and Roadhouse most recently. So I don't know if there's something on his resume that screams this, but like he is a solid director, and like, I guess we can just have to see what happens. But I think it's a really interesting story that could make for a good feature length adaptation if done right. It's just a lot of source material, I think, to get done right, and hopefully he works closely with Stephen King. I think that might help a lot. I mean, Stephen King is very open to that, so hopefully that's something that they'll do instead of just tackling it all on his own.
Is Doug Liman not working on that movie with Tom Cruise in space, or is that somebody else?
I thought that was still in development. I mean, Tom Cruise has so many different things in development now that I can't
tell. Like, I guess, according to IMDb.
And Tom Cruise, I mean, he can do anything, but he's also in his 60s, and he's not getting any younger. He's like, he wants to develop. He wants to go to space. He's doing that underwater movie, I think, with Ana de Armas. He wants to do a sequel to Days of Thunder, another Top Gun. I don't know when he'll have the time to do all these things, but I really wanted that whole space movie thing to happen, because I remember when I heard it, I was like, only Tom Cruise would like, no, I want to go to real space. I don't want to fake it, and I want to shoot in like actual space. Only he could do that. Next on the list, this is interesting for fans of, I guess, fans hoping for a street level Spider-Man story. I don't know if this is what we're getting in the new Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Brand New Day, but Jon Bernthal's The Punisher is confirmed to be in the movie, and that made a lot of people who are fans of just The Punisher and just the characters, that they feel like they're going to get a street level Spider-Man rather than this kind of like multiverse thing that we've gotten in the last, like these kind of fantastical ones we've gotten in the last few.
No Way Home ended and alluding to back to basics. So I'm really this casting seems to confirm that, and I actually really like the direction of that.
I do too.
Movie. I'm curious how they're going to reconcile like the violence of Jon Bernthal's Punisher character with like the family
for this PG-13 Spider-Man movie. That's gonna be interesting, because like for those that don't know, Jon Bernthal's Punisher got introduced during Daredevil when that show was on Netflix, and then they gave him his own show on Netflix. I think it was 2 seasons, and then of course all the Netflix Marvel shows got axed all at once because Netflix lost the rights to the Marvel shows. But a lot of these characters are making their way back into like the MCU. Daredevil, Born Again was the way that. Well, actually, he was introduced again in a small role in No Way Home as playing Matt Murdock, the lawyer for Peter Parker's character briefly in that movie, and then he got his own show that they were able to bring him back into the MCU along with Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin, Kristen Witter's Jessica Jones is going to be in season 2 of that, so they're bringing her back.
Okay.
And then Jon Bernthal actually appeared in season 1 of Born Again, so they're able to bring all these people back from the Netflix shows that people loved and people thought they weren't be able to bring them back because how are we gonna work these characters in. I think Kevin Feige had to also balance like how popular were they anyway to bring back, and I think he learned quickly that they were popular enough to bring into the fold. Poor Finn Jones and his Iron Fist. I don't know what's happening with that. I know he wasn't really well received by a lot of people, and I know he really, really wants to come back. And then watch all his buddies come back must be really, really disappointing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we don't know much about what Spider-Man's going to be. The assumption is that it is going to be a more street. And I agree with you. The way No Way Home ended, it really kind of was a start from scratch ending for him. Since
which I love that.
Since everyone's memory of him was kind of wiped, other people in his life was wiped out, so he gets to protect the city on a more street level. And there are some really good street level Spider-Man stories. That's also another way they could even add Daredevil into the mix, so that he's more of a street level character too. I wouldn't mind a smaller Spider-Man story like that. I think it'd be really good and a little bit more interesting than what we've been getting. Or maybe not more interesting, but certainly different. And I think different would be good for those movies. And we don't know much. Like, we know that Sadie Sink's in the movie. We don't know who she's playing. Everyone's speculating about who Sadie Sink's playing because of her red hair. They're like, is she Mary Jane? But I was like, well, this movie already has its MJ, and that's Zendaya. Yeah, sure. But like, she's not really she's not Mary Jane, though. I mean, I guess her name's Michelle. So like, and then there's also speculation that she could be playing like Jean Grey, and that's how they can introduce like an X-Men character there. But that would make much sense if we're I don't know. Everyone's speculating on what they want. And then, of course, Zendaya, they said that she's in this, but they don't know how big her role is going to be. She's also filming a lot in a row next year.
Yeah.
So she's very busy. So maybe if her part is smaller, that might be something that she wants. But I don't know. I would prefer a street level Spider-Man story, though. Like kind of more grounded Spider-Man story. That would kind of remind me, even that would along the lines of like, I know the Dr. Octopus stuff is a little fantastical in Spider-Man 2, but like a story that was more human along the Spider-Man 2 level would be really good, I think.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2 is like probably one of the better comic book movies ever. And I think Peter Parker deserves that kind of story. And also a story where he doesn't get a ton of help. We need like Tom Holland to have like a Spider-Man movie where it's mostly him as the hero, not with assist from anyone in the MCU. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and it's already been 4 years since No Way Home, so
which is crazy. It doesn't seem that long.
No, I know. I don't. I just looked it up. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
4 years coming up this next month, I think, actually in July.
Yeah. Is this next news exciting you? Do you want to read it?
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. So I couldn't find anything on it, but Kim Kardashian, known for her prolific acting career, has been cast as a villain in an upcoming Bratz movie, which honestly, considering what I just said, the villain, I think Kim Kardashian in this kind of movie is actually kind of an interesting casting. Like, this movie sounds like yeah. But if it's gonna be made, Kim Kardashian may as well be the villain. I think that's kind of ironically hilarious.
Well, here's why this is happening. So, in case you guys don't know what Bratz are, it's a toy line. It's a line of dolls, and they look a certain way. They're very exaggerated faces and like big lips, and
they were big when I was young.
However, I guess after the success of Barbie, every studio wanted like to adapt something similar. So, Amazon MGM Studios won this in a really competitive bidding war. This was like something that was a lot of studios wanted, and they won it over a few other bigger studios. Kim Kardashian will also be producing this movie alongside acting in it. And in case you're wondering why you're getting it, the Bratz toy line has sold more than $200 million to date globally. And it's also the highest, has the highest social media engagement across all platforms of any toy brand in the world. So that's why they're making it in the movie, because it's very successful worldwide and they see its potential. As far as Kim Kardashian, the actress, she's done some stuff, and she was in Disaster movie back in the day. It was
Oh,
that
okay.
spoof of. She was in a Tyler Perry movie called Temptation, Confessions of a Marriage Counselor. And then she's voiced 2 Paw Patrol movies. But
Oh, I didn't know this.
but her biggest come up has been in TV. Ryan Murphy has been her biggest supporter. He cast her in a supporting role in season 12 of American Horror Story, which actually got her some pretty decent reviews. He cast her as the lead in a legal show called All Is Fair that's coming out on Hulu, and she's going to be acting alongside people like Glenn Close and Naomi Watts. So
Okay.
I and Niecy Nash, like people who actually have like discernible acting talent. She also
Yeah.
is doing a Netflix movie and producing a movie called The Fifth Wheel that Eva Longoria is directing, and she also has another Hulu series in development called Group Chat that she's going to be in and developing.
Yes, I saw that.
Um, how do you feel about being in the Kim Kardashian Axe era?
I suppose it was inevitable. I'm surprised it's taken this long, given her fame. But I guess like she was tied up with like reality TV and
And
all
she
her
still
other
is.
endeavors. Yeah. Not surprised. You know, a lot of famous people that get into the industry in other ways kind of patch over at some point, it seems. But interested most about her positive reviews from her appearance in season 12 of American Horror Story. That's what I'm really, good for her. I mean,
All
if
right,
she's
let me add some context to that because like
okay.
I watched out of curiosity, I watched 2 episodes, right? Because I was like, I have to know if she's good or not. So she delivered her lines well, and like but her character was kind of like rich and stuck up and snarky and kind of bitchy.
Okay.
I'm not saying that
Yeah.
she's bitchy in real life, but she knows how to be rich and stuck up.
Yes.
And like it was a role that played to her strengths. What'll be
I
really
see.
interesting is this All Is Fair show, because she the character, I guess the lawyer that she's playing, is based on a popular attorney here named Laura Wasser, who's like defended a lot of high profile celebrities in like divorces and all that. So like the character is based on her. That would
Okay.
be, I guess, a much bigger determination of her talent because she's leading the show. Like she's the lead over Naomi Watts and Glenn Close. Like I mean,
Yeah, it's
that's
pretty
girl,
crazy.
and and from what I've seen in interviews, both actresses have praised her. And I don't know if they're just being nice because that's her coworker, or if she's really good. I mean, it's one of those things like you eat crow if you see it, and like, oh, she wasn't bad. Like, and
Mhm.
give her credit. Um, she's always gonna have like a huge stigma against her though because of who she is and where she came from.
Yes.
She's before, like on her Wikipedia page, I think she's listed first as like, I think she's like a reality star, media personality, businesswoman, and then like she's not listed as like an actress
No,
first.
exactly.
So like she's getting these opportunities because of her level of fame in those regards. So I know
Mhm.
there are a handful of actors who think it's absolutely asinine that she's being cast and all this stuff. Ryan Murphy is someone that does this though. Ryan Murphy will stunt cast until stunt casting will get him nowhere. I mean, he got it right with Lady Gaga. He cast her in American Horror Story before she
Mhm.
took off big in movies. I mean, like he did that before she got A Star Is Born and
Right.
House of Gucci. So, but like I think Ryan Murphy likes to cast people like that based on his whims and more and less on like you
Right.
know if they're really good. But I'll be the first one to say it. If I see something that she's good in, I'll give her credit for it. I just there's no plot at all right now for the Bratz movie. It does have
Yeah,
2
I'm not
writers.
expecting anything meaningful out of that.
It does have 2 writers, and God, I just hate like with a success like Barbie. I knew that was going to happen. Like every studio's like, well, we need to adapt our like toy line. What's going to be ours? Like, and
Right.
and yes, there is like a Bratz animated series that came out. Like there's like other media from this.
Right.
I would know. I wasn't in the demographic. I didn't watch it, so I have no idea if the Bratz toy line can make for a successful and enticing
I
motion picture.
am very skeptical, but whatever. We'll see it.
uh,
Yeah, we'll see. More to be
Not in our
discussed on that in
wheelhouse.
the future. Yeah, no, not at all. I wouldn't be surprised if I never hear any more developments on that again. But good for Kim
uh,
Kardashian trying other ventures out.
yeah. This is actually when I saw this news, I thought of you and wanted to know what you thought of it. But there there is a sequel to The Social Network that's in development at Sony Pictures. Aaron Sorkin is writing it. He wrote the first movie. He's also directing it. He did not direct the first movie. That was David Fincher. And it's being described not so much as a traditional sequel as more of like a follow-up. And they said that the story will dive into the behind the Wall Street Journal's Facebook Files, which was an explosive series of articles published in October 2021 that exposed the inner workings of and multiple harms caused by the world's largest social network. I love the first movie. It's one of my favorite movies. I've rewatched it a lot. I mean, it's like a go-to rewatch for me when I can't think of anything else I want to watch. Oscar nominated. He won an Academy Award for his screenplay. Made a lot of money. I don't know how I feel about this though, and I'm kind of curious how you feel about it.
I haven't really had much time to think about what I thought because I only just recently heard, and I didn't even read like a news article. It was more like a picture shared on Facebook, and that was as much as I got out of it. So I didn't know if it was my interpretation is that it would be a direct sequel to Fincher's film. I like more that it's going to be more of a follow-up, and which in the timeline it'll be set. It must be like something like 17 or 18 years after the events of The Social Network. I like that, like something more recent and a different sort of controversy involving Facebook. I think that could be interesting. I think it's going to come down to who they have casting, and I think Aaron Sorkin is one of the greatest writing talents in Hollywood. So
he is a great writer,
and he's directed before.
Yep, I mean it's like Trial of the Chicago 7, I believe.
Yeah, Molly's Game
did that, and I believe Molly's Game that it's another one that he did. Yep, and like I love Molly's Game. I think what's very telling of how people feel about this, and it was I forgot what outlet did it, but they said Aaron Sorkin's writing a sequel to The Social Network, and they had in parentheses, "Yay!" And it was like, and he's also directing, and they went, "Eh."
That's what I saw. Yes, yeah.
That is, I think that's how a lot of people feel about it because a lot of the directing floor just came from David Fincher. That was like. I mean, the fact that he directed out of the hell out of a movie that didn't look like it could be worth much of anything. Like,
when they first announced that.
Yeah, I remember when they first announced that, I was like, that can't be good. Like about the creation of Facebook, and they turned that into a thrilling experience. I mean, both through the writing and his direction. And this is something they have talked about for a while that he wanted to do a sequel. And I guess it's because like we're being hung up on the word sequel, like being a follow up to that movie.
Yes,
where it's more like a follow up to. Kind of like a time and place in Facebook's history that they want to cover as a film, and then this being the particular time in Facebook's history that they want to dive into, and why not call it a follow-up to the Social Network because it is about that particular social network.
Right.
Yeah, so for those expecting to get like they don't even know if Jesse Eisenberg will be back as Mark Zuckerberg. Like that's one thing that they don't know.
That's where my brain went first. Like I hope so. Like it would make sense continuity wise. Like
yeah.
I'd feel better if he was cast in there.
But I think it's pretty safe to say that you're not going to get the same. You're not going to get him. You're not getting Andrew Garfield. You're not getting any of those people. So it's going to be a much different experience. But I guess the plus side, for that movie, even though Jesse Eisenberg had been in stuff like, that broke him out in the big way. He was nominated for an Academy Award for it. It was a really big movie for Andrew Garfield. I think that broke him out. He had done like a couple movies before that, but that broke him out in a huge way too. So there's an opportunity for other actors to break out with this movie. It is weird to think we also are living in a bizarro universe where Aaron Sorkin is directing a movie that could have been directed by David Fincher, and then David Fincher is directing a movie that's being written by Quentin Tarantino for that Cliff Booth Once Upon a Time Hollywood sequel. Yeah. So like we're in a weird like Twilight Zone when it comes to that. I don't know. I want to be more excited for it because I love The Social Network, but I
also don't think it needs a follow-up either.
Yeah, I don't feel like it's necessary. And like since Aaron Sorkin is such a good writer, I think there's so many other like topical issues that he could write about other than this that would probably make for a good either film or TV. I would like to see him tackle that rather than dive back into this. I mean, I guess there are more stories to be told about Facebook and its effect on society, especially after it becomes big.
Yes.
There is a story there for that too, but I don't know. like I don't know. It's like I said, the first one's one of my favorite movies. I want to be more excited for a follow up, but just don't feel
It's
it.
not a movie that commands a sequel by any means. It is a great one-off,
Yeah.
story or depiction of events. Um, I kind of this next bit. I don't really have a dog in this fight. I've seen one of these movies, so that's more of a reaction for you. I want to know what you thought. But Harold and Kumar are getting a sequel, which would make it what, the fourth
It would be the
movie?
fourth one. Yeah. You guys probably know that first Harold and Kumar went to White Castle, and then they escaped from Guantanamo Bay, and then they had like a Christmas movie. That was the third one. The first movie was like wasn't a huge success in theaters, but it became a huge success on when it came out on. I
Streaming?
guess
Yeah.
it was a cult classic, which is why they made more of them. But what I did know, the interesting thing about this story is that it's coming from the creators of Cobra Kai, and all three of these people got their start making these movies. I didn't know that. They actually their first big project was Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, and the first thing they directed was the sequel. And so so it's good on them that they want to do this, and they are trying to get John Cho and Kal Penn back. All three movies have made $104 million worldwide, but the budgets are super small. So
Right.
and they're all successful on home video. You know what, Ian? Full disclosure, depending on the movie, the stoner comedy has not been my favorite type of comedy. I maybe because I don't.
Same. Yeah.
I maybe because I don't smoke weed like that, and like my friends that do love those movies, like they're definitely coming from a place of that. And when I watch some of
Relate.
those
Yeah.
movies with them, they'll be laughing and stuff, and I'm like, I don't know if that was funny, but maybe I have to be in that mindset. But yeah, the stoner comedy is never like people who love Half Baked. I'm like, I don't get it, but they love it. I guess Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is considered a stoner comedy. I like that, but like that has other elements to it that is less about them being like, and they don't really explicitly express that they're potheads in Bill and Ted's. They just kind of like
Yeah, they
come
just
off that
act like
way.
the conventional pothead, yeah, without
Yeah.
the pot.
And Friday, I guess their two characters are smoking a lot of weed, but that movie isn't like conveyed as it being like potheads either. So like I don't know, but you like Days Confused, which I guess is like
Oh
is that considered
man,
like a
one of my
stoner
favorite
movie,
movies.
a stoner comedy?
I look at it like I call it a hangout movie, which yeah, there are some
Yeah,
characters
okay,
that are like smoking dope and stuff, but like there's a big
yeah.
amount that aren't. So I think it kind of like encapsulates a stoner comedy, but it is more than that. But yeah, Days of Confused is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Like
Um,
Fast Times at Ridgemont High. That's another one that like, and that's a classic.
one I
But
haven't seen. Yeah.
but I'm not Spicoli. I don't really hang out and like smoke from my bong and like I don't know.
Right.
It's just not me. So like the humor is kind of lost on me sometimes, but people out there love these movies. So like if they want more of them, like more power to them. It's so funny because like I feel like we should have learned the lessons when we make comedies too far out, like comedy sequels. I know we've already had two sequels, but uh the last one, I'm trying to see when the last one actually came out. It's been a while since the last Harold and Kumar movie came out, and I don't really know if there's any like uh interest in another one so far. Like, when you make Anchorman 2 years after Anchorman 1, like
Hmm.
doesn't have the same effect anymore. Zoolander 2 was another one. Like comedy yeah, the last one came out in 2011. And like a
Holy
fairly
shit.
that's a fairly decent gap between like
Yeah, that's pretty significant.
and I haven't met anyone that's like, we need another one of them Harold and Kumar movies. I never like, unless I just know we're in the same circle as those people, but yeah, I
Hmm.
don't think it's necessary. But we're getting one.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt
Nonetheless.
as well.
This next story is more of an update of a story that we gave you that we told you that Saw was being 50% of it was being acquired by Blumhouse. Lionsgate still has the other 50%. Blumhouse bought their share from Twisted Pictures. I guess we have a little bit more insight into what is happening here, and this is why this is an opinion I have now. I think they're going to remake it. I don't think they're going to make sequels.
Okay.
Um, but
Do
um,
share.
but what we learned is that James Wan and Lee Winnell, they said, well, as far as the franchise moving forward, we'll have a huge say creatively in which direction it goes. And one of the things that James Wan has said in the past is that if he had control of it again, is that he would start it over. So I think
Okay.
So I think that is kind of where we're at. But like that was a creative decision. Like when the sale became official last week, and they said that James Wan said that he wants to be all involved in the creative process, and he will be involved in the creative process. They, he didn't say he'd be directing them or writing them or anything like that, but they would be involved in where it goes moving forward at Blumhouse, which makes sense because his Atomic Monster banner is at Blumhouse,
Right.
and so I guess it's cool that it's under his umbrella. I mean, they created it together.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think his direction will be to start it over. But I think we said last time we don't even know what that would look like. But
I'm down for a fresh take on that series. 11 movies is a lot, and one continuity. And I think you can still tell a different story, but using the same elements that made Saw so beloved. And I'm curious if they keep it as like torture porn as like the main draw to those movies.
Give it like if they add like nuance and suspense rather than gore. That'd be interesting.
I think I'm interested to see whatever they do, but I'm down for it. And it'd be nice to follow a Saw series from the beginning if it is restarting, which I would aim to do because I was way too young when the first.
Our biggest thing now. I mean, sometimes I'll be like, "What happened in like Saw 4, 5, 6?" I'm like, "I don't remember," and I feel like I'll be mixing up plot points. And I'm like, "Was that Saw 5?" And they're like, "I don't remember. That might have been Saw 6." So like, you never know. Like after the third one, I feel like I've seen them all, but like I feel like I tapped out as far as like what happens in each one after that third movie. So like to start from scratch might be the best thing. But I'm glad they at least will have creative control over where it goes. I mean, that should be good for fans to know. Yeah. What we got next?
Last one is Clayface being cast in the DCU. So there's been some developments on that movie. It's being written by Mike Flanagan, who's we all know is like kind of like leading the way in contemporary horror these days. So really excited. Apparently, it's being touted as like this like raw, scary and like body horror sort of angle that they're going with. The character. And Tom, I think it's Reese Harris, I think is how you pronounce his name. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
Who I don't know from any of his previous work, but he has been in a few things. Most recently, what is his claim to fame?
So he's recently been on the Apple TV series Suspicion. I didn't see that, but Uma Thurman's on it. He was in Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman. I don't really remember him.
That's what I was,
Do you remember him?
I don't. No, he would have been. Yeah, I don't remember his character at all. Actually, I didn't know who he was as an actor, so he's kind of a relatively unknown. But he's been in a lot of stuff.
He's Welsh, and he beat out like Sinners, Jack O'Connell, The Hunger Games, and The Battle of Songbirds, Tom Blythe, The White Lotus's Leo Woodall, and 1917's George McKay. He got bigger names for this role than his. And I think that kind of like I actually like that they. I mean, I'm sure all those guys would have been great, but I'm glad that like it seems like what James Gunn and them are doing, rather than like going for like let's go for stars, they're going for like who they think suits the role best, and that's pretty cool. I'm intrigued by this. So Mike Flanagan was like I think on board to direct this until he got wrapped up in The Exorcist, and he couldn't do it. So I do like the idea of it being like a kind of like body horror movie, like set in like the DC universe. Because the character Clayface is popular in Batman canon. He was introduced in Detective Comics number 40 in June 1940. The original Clayface was a moderately successful actor who adopted the identity of a character he portrayed in a horror movie after turning to crime. Clayface is a body seemingly made out of clay and has appeared over the years in various films, series, animated works, video games, and other forms of media. So that character is right for that kind of body horror treatment. So I'm curious to see what they do with it, but I think it's interesting that they class like a pretty much unknown person to do it.
Some mystery about that audition, I guess, and what he brings to the table. I'm excited to see. I'm not sure if the movie has a release date yet, or
I believe September 11th, 2026. So yeah, it's
okay.
Pretty. It's really like what I don't understand about their slate is they seem to have it all planned out, but I feel like this one got thrown into the mix like in the middle of like other stuff they're doing, because I know they have Superman coming out, and then they're also doing Supergirl. I think that's next year.
Mhm.
I don't remember Clayface being in the mix originally. It feels like something they kind of like developed, not
Right.
haphazardly, but like, I think they like us to think that everything is like planned out, but it's not always
Right.
the case. All right, we got trailers, and we have
Yeah,
some good
that's really
ones.
the end of the news. But yeah, lots of good trailers to show. So the Naked Gun had its second trailer release, and I haven't seen the original one. I can appreciate Leslie Nielsen's comedic
Humor.
style from he's given us lots of great comedies from earlier years, but Liam Neeson seems to be sort of like evoking the same spirit of comedy from the
Yeah,
Naked Gun movies. So I think it looks honestly kind of hilarious. I think Liam Neeson is like an unintentionally very like he's been unintentionally not unintentional, that's not the right word, but he's been a surprisingly comedic talent in
yeah,
other smaller roles. Like he's known as this action guy, but he's does have some comedic chops in him, and I think that the trailer looks pretty funny, a modern take on the story, and a continuation of the other ones featuring Leslie Nielsen. It's I guess following the same continuity there, but
yeah. They're counting it as a direct sequel to the third Naked Gun movie. So like, and I guess we can still call it a legacy sequel, but
yeah,
it's not
yeah,
like it's not like a remake or reboot. It's in the same universe. He is Leslie Nielsen's son, I guess, in this film. Uh, there's some funny. It looks funny. I mean, I'm glad to see like comedies actually making a bigger comeback in theaters. Like, I hope this does well, because I think that's what the theatrical experience has been missing, is like legitimately funny comedies that do well at the box office, that play well in theaters. And I think this one might. This trailer played before oh God, what I see last before I saw 28 years later, and in a
yeah,
packed
same.
theater, in a packed theater, it got a lot of laughs. So I think that it could do really well. For some reason, the Pamela Anderson bit where she takes the chair was a big hit in our screening, when he
Because
said
that
like,
is so
why don't you
like
take
the
a
old
chair?
style of comedy. Yeah.
Yeah, it got a big laugh, and good for her, because it seemed like since like that last Showgirl movie that she's reinventing herself, and like is starting to get like bigger roles. And I don't know, it's so crazy, because like I thought she like she'd be Baywatch girl forever, and like
Mm.
kind of live and die on that, but like it seems like she's had like a second coming. So good for her. It does honestly look funny, and Liam Neeson, it also gives him a chance to kind of make fun of his action persona a bit too.
Yes.
On top of that, so I'm looking forward to it. It looks good. Like I was impressed by how like decent the trailer came out, and
Me
it
too.
actually opens on August 1st, so like not too far away.
Yeah.
Um,
I've been waiting for your take on this second trailer here, and it's the second trailer of this
yeah,
movie, another
yeah.
legacy sequel, the one that you're a big fan of. What do you think of the newest trailer for what you did? I know what you did last summer.
Last summer. So we did talk about the first trailer, which kind of was like I guess a teaser. And I thought it looked pretty good. This second trailer, I I I liked it. I guess my only gripe, it does feel like the same movie as the original. I
It
mean,
does,
I don't
eh?
think I think they're really changing much. I mean, I think the key differences is in the original movie, after the accident, the characters get separated. The event kind of like breaks them up as friends, and they're kind of brought back together by being stalked by this person who wants
Mhm.
revenge. It looks like from this new one is that this event happens again on 4th of July, and they all are still in each other's lives as friends. So it looks like in the movie, like Madeline Klein's characters like getting engaged or getting married or whatever, and like they're all
Yeah.
still friends. They're still a group. So I guess that's one of the key differences. But like the main crux of the story of like, we ran over someone in their car and we had to hide it, and now someone
So
knows. I guess it's kind of hard to get something new out of that
I'm
story.
wondering if this is supposed to be the same killer, or is this supposed to be have happened again? Like I don't know what to expect out of who the
I'm
killer is going
hoping
to
it's
be.
something that happens again, because the original guy should be pretty dead, right? Like, we saw Ben Willis die in that second movie that you would probably like to forget, but he did die
Yes.
in that. Um, but it does
But
look like
will
a
that
fun
movie be
slasher movie.
canon though?
Yeah, they said it is canon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They said they and I guess like the writers went back and forth about making it canon or not, whether
I
or not
see.
whether or not one experience was enough for Julie to go through to be pulled back into the story, or if two would be enough to pull her in. And uh, they think it's fine. I don't think it'll be too much canon, because I mean, the writers of this movie love both films. Um,
Okay.
But I think it makes sense to make it both canon, like for them, like because both those stories that they involve Ray and Julie, Freddie Prinze Jr. and Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Yeah.
It does look like a fun slasher movie though. I mean, I'm all aboard for that. I mean, I love a fun slasher movie. It looks like the characters look fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat a little crow here because I said that this story wasn't really right for bringing the legacy characters back, and just judging from the trailer, just like this trailer, it seems like they've done that with a lot more ease than say Scream did with bringing Sydney back into the story for like the fifth one in that franchise.
Right.
Like it seems like it makes more sense to pull Julie into this and pull Ray because they still live in Southport. They are still like part of that community. So like I said it wouldn't make much sense. There's not a lot of story there, but like maybe they did find a way to like pull them into the new story that makes sense. And the writer said that there would be no movie without those two. Like they wouldn't want to do this movie without bringing them back. So I'm hoping they're not just shoehorned in into the proceedings. But what did you think of the trailer? Were you into it, or are you kind of like eh?
Yeah, I think it looks like a decent legacy sequel, like almost like the same story updated with like a modern angle to it. But I think the biggest highlight to me from the trailer was Jennifer Love Hewitt's iconic line delivered in a different way at the end. I thought that was pretty slick nod to her big line in the first movie. What are you?
Yeah, I thought that was cool too. Like, because you turned like a really cheesy line into one that sounded much more compelling. Someone made a joke because like that line, I guess, was chosen by a young kid that won a contest that basically was like, "What do you want her to say here?" And someone was like, "Somewhere that kid is grown, not getting any residuals from that line whatsoever," and like it's really being used. It's still being used in some capacity. But and Jennifer Love Hewitt is having a fun time promoting it. You can tell she's like happy to be back in it, and so is Freddie Prinze Jr. I don't know. I think it's fun. Like I think she's making a pure slasher sequel, and that's all it really needs to be. I don't need to be much more smarter than that. But what I can't tell who the lead is. Like I'm trying to figure out like who is.
I'm getting Madeline Klein out of this, but
but she also gives vibes of like I'm the fun girl that might get killed, a la Sarah Michelle Gellar in the first one.
Yes.
Maybe it's good that the trailer didn't give an indication of like who is like the main protagonist, but. Yeah, that was my only like little thing about it. But it looks like a shot well too. Like it still looks like a beautiful looking movie. And we'll find out what that movie's all about on July 18th. I can't believe these are coming so fast.
Oh my gosh. Next up,
curious to see what you think about this one.
I was surprised to see who was directing it. I knew this movie was in development, but Scott Cooper, we finally get our first look at his biopic about Bruce Springsteen, featuring, or I guess starring Jeremy Allen White, Deliver Me From Nowhere. And I guess it shows like early days of Bruce Springsteen's career, who I don't know anything about Bruce Springsteen's career. I do love a lot of his songs. He's like an American icon, like the boss, right? Like he's a fantastic musician. I didn't know like that his life was like, that he had any like controversy or anything worth like making a big musical biopic about him. So I'm curious to find out more about his life, and the fact that Scott Cooper is doing it, who has done a musical biopic, although about a fictional person, is I think he's already had experience in the genre. I really liked what I saw out of Jeremy Allen White, and it looks like I don't want to say Oscar bait in a negative way, but it looks like it's tailored to come out around award season.
It looks like it's opening October 24th, so like you can tell that it's following the same route that A Complete Unknown did, where it's not so much a biopic about his whole life, but more about like a time in his life. I guess when he was making his album Nebraska, and like that is kind of where the story mostly takes place. I kind of like that biopics are doing this, because like I don't really necessarily, depending on the person, I don't really need an overlapping like this is how they grew up story about certain people in that regard. Like I really don't mind if there is like a seminal moment in their lives that would make a good movie, then do that. Like I think that's a good thing too. What I'm curious about is that the posters and stuff, and honestly the trailer, I didn't write it in our notes here, but it's called Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere, and I can't tell if they did that because they were like unsure if people would be like, we need to let them know that this is a Springsteen movie. If we call it Deliver Me from Nowhere, will they know it's about him? And like other people pointed that out online, like whether or not like they did that because like they thought people would be unsure of what the movie was. I'm calling it Deliver Me from Nowhere. I'm not calling it Springsteen Deliver Me from Nowhere, but like
No, me either.
all the graphic art and like the listening for the trailer called it Springsteen Deliver Me from Nowhere. Jeremy Allen White looks like him enough in passing to pass for him, and apparently he did his own singing. So I respect.
Wow.
I will forever respect that more than what Rami Malek did in Bohemian Rhapsody, and he still won an Oscar for it.
Yeah,
no singing. But yeah, and the boss himself actually gave Jeremy Allen White his stamp of approval, said he has a great voice. Was impressed by what he saw. So,
sweet.
I don't know. It does feel kind of Oscar baity, but like nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
we'll see if we'll feel if he gets him something. Yeah, I really don't mind if it is like these kind of movies tend to be Oscar baity a bit. And
musical biopics always go for awards.
And it has a prime release date, so there you go, of October 24th. I almost didn't want to include this one in here for you because this is like I think the third trailer we've gotten for this movie, and I know you don't want to. I know you don't really want to watch that trailer. Yeah. Like I almost didn't watch the trailer either, and I'm hoping this is the last one. Like as we were at end of June, I don't know if we'll get another one by the time it opens. I think it's August 8th when this opens.
8th.
Oh, I just realized I'll be at Splash House. So I have to like see this before I leave. Yeah. I almost didn't want to share with you because I know you don't really see a lot more of the movie, but to their credit, they didn't really show a lot again. It's just a series of scenes that like are creepy. All you guys who because I didn't notice this when I first watched the trailer, but all you guys screenshotting that very creepy image of Benedict Wong with his eyes kind of gouging out and like blood all over his mouth and looks like he's snarling. Like I didn't notice that in the trailer at first until people started posting that image online, and it looks terrifying.
Yeah,
like absolutely terrifying. I don't know. I feel like the trailer just gives you more of like the mystery of it, like the kind of like
it makes you ask more questions.
Yeah, and then putting more emphasis on the fact that these kids are missing just from this one teacher's classroom, and like the town or whatever is putting all this on her. Like this must be something that she did, and that the trailer gives emphasis on that. And then just a series of like really oddball clips and scenes that don't really make sense, I guess, and it's probably for the best because like I'd rather not know what's happening. But what did you think of the trailer, and were you reluctant to watch it?
So it also showed before my screening of 28 Days Later, so I had seen it. I did rewatch it today anyway, and just for some more details, but I do think it looks like very appropriately disturbing. I like that it kind of I like it. I don't like that it did give us a little bit more of a glimpse into what is going to be going on with the characters in this movie. And whereas like the teaser and the first trailer only really seemed to hint at like the kids being involved by whatever is happening in this town, now we see we have seen that the parents are also affected by what's going on in like some sort of supernatural way. We see a lot of really creepy shots and sequences of adults doing really fucking weird things, and I can't wait to see where that all goes because I'm very excited for this movie. It's one of my most anticipated for the year, and I'm glad that it's only about a month away, so a month and a half, I guess.
Yeah,
can't wait to see it.
And we've had a lot of really good horror movies this year, but like this is the one I've been waiting for the most. And one of my buddies was like, it looks really good, but like, can't you imagine that it's gonna be one of those horror movies that might be like very polarizing when it comes out? I was like, I can see that. I can see that. I can see it being like so much hype behind it that when you finally get like all the nuts and bolts of like, oh, this is what it is. Like either people are gonna love it or they're gonna be like, oh, that's a letdown. But good marketing so far. Like 3 trailers and they haven't really shown a lot. I was reluctant to watch it. I didn't get this before 28 years later, thank God. I was happy to watch it because if I would have got it in the moment in the theater, I would have been like, no, if I want to watch it, like in front of everybody.
Definitely.
But yeah, it looks good, and I'm really looking forward to it. This other horror film, I'm not sure about. The Strangers Chapter 2. The Strangers Chapter 1 was a very like Temu remake of the first Strangers, and and I didn't love it. The lead actress was really good though. I'll give credit where credit's due. Yeah, she sold it from Riverdale. Here's what I'll say about this trailer. It looks. I'm glad that it has to be a new story. It has to be different. They can't do the same movie again. So there's that. So this looks like where this planned trilogy, like the real meat of their story, is going to kick off here. So I will say that it looks better than The Strangers Chapter 1.
Okay.
And I think that's about all. There were some scenes that like I thought looked cool in the trailer. Like they're kind of scared, like the scene where she's in the car with them. Or I'm assuming it's them.
Yeah. But then like, how is she getting out of this?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering too. And like,
yeah.
And are we unmasking the strangers now? Are we going to give them backstory? Because that will completely dilute them. I don't really want to know much about them at all.
I don't want to know a thing. Yeah.
But if you're making a 3-chapter film like series, like you're going to have to learn about them, right? So I don't really know what the overall direction is, but I will say that it looks better than Chapter 1. What did you think of it?
Yeah, I don't really think much about this series, especially after your review of it where you'd seen it and it didn't really add anything. Like I think even the last time I saw the original The Strangers, I remember kind of feeling underwhelmed. Like I feel like it was a great first time watch. It's just like, yeah, it's a home invasion movie and it's eerie, but I guess it's kind of like something I've just seen done maybe too many times. It's hard to make it original, but I do like the original movie. I'll put it that way. I just don't know that. Yeah, I think this whole new trilogy is very
it feels like a cash grab for sure.
Cash grab, yeah. I don't see why this character, like Madeline Petsch's character, is going to survive the first and fall into the clutches of the strangers in the second movie and somehow escape again. Like,
what's going on?
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't really think I have nothing really to add to the conversation of these movies, but
we'll see how it goes. September 26th, guys. We have the final trailer for the Fantastic Four. I'm glad this is the last trailer. I was convinced
a lot of marketing for this movie.
Yeah, you could tell that Marvel is like, we need this one to be a big hit. Thunderbolts did decent, but it lost some money, I think.
Yeah,
because of how much it costs to make, and you could tell that but the Fantastic Four is a much different beast than the Thunderbolts. Like this is a well-known Marvel property. Everyone knows who the Fantastic Four is. They are Marvel's first family. That's what they're called. It's their first real appearance in the MCU. We've gotten a lot of live action movies that underwhelmed a lot of people, so I understand the marketing blitz for it. I don't know if we need this many trailers for it, but I am glad that there's stuff that they're still not showing. Like we haven't gotten like full Galactus in any of these trailers.
Right, no.
I think is great. I'm glad that we're actually getting a very character accurate depiction of Galactus, like big, towering, like that's what he's supposed to be, not just some energy cloud in the sky. I think that's like what one of the movies did. And I'm glad that we're getting that, and they're going all out with that. I love the vibe so far of the 4 actors: Pedro Pascal, Joseph Quinn, Ivan Masbakrak, and Vanessa Kirby. I think they all seem like they're going to be really good together. Pedro Pascal, at this point, he's in everything, so kudos to him.
I don't think he's aware of people kind of criticizing him for being in everything.
Yeah, he's overexposed. Well, do you think he's overexposed, or is it just like he got? I mean, for someone he's over 50, right? Someone his age. It's rare for them to pop off the way they did, the way he's done in the last 2 years. 3 years. Like, he is literally in everything. He's in 3 movies this summer. He's in Eddington, he's in Materialist, and he's in this.
Yeah.
And like within weeks of each other. And like I'm not gonna salt his game. Good for him. But
I love Pedro Pascal.
I'll watch him. But I agree with you. I don't think he's aware about if people think like, why is he in everything now? But yeah, I think it looks good. I think there's other supporting characters that like I think we haven't seen. John Malkovich, who he's playing he's in this movie.
Oh yeah.
So there's Paul Walter Hauser has a role in this too. Natasha Lyonne, I don't know what she's doing in it, but she's in it as well. So they managed to show a lot without showing a lot. So I'll give them credit for that at least. It still looks like it's going to be better than. I love Thunderbolts, so I won't count that. But like, it looks better than most of their output has been in recently.
And I think it looks fantastic. We'll put it that way. It
Oh.
intrigues me. I might, yeah, sorry, I put out myself. If time allows, this would be one of the MCU movies that I would make carve at the time to go see.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. It's that's coming out very shortly.
July 25th.
Oh, okay, so another month.
So it's crazy how much we have. We have Jurassic World Rebirth. Sorry, not Jurassic Birth. Rebirth.
Which man,
July 2nd. Superman's July 11th. And I was just saying I know you know that summer. It's not the same league, but like that's the 18th. And then you have this on July 25th. There's just like July is stacked with movies. It feels like a true summer of like really big things coming out.
It's a blockbuster summer for sure.
Oh, what were you going to say about Jurassic World Rebirth?
Oh, just I saw some very negative early reviews. That's disappointing.
I saw some good ones too, though. It's been like
okay. I only saw
two
when they didn't have any like much good to say. I was like, oh no.
Well, the negative ones I've seen have been like saying that the story is stupid. And I was like, well, the story hasn't been good since the first one. Like that's not a good.
Yeah.
That's not a determinant for me. Just don't be boring. Like Jurassic World Dominion was boring. And it had a good jumping off point from Fallen Kingdom. I was like, oh, like dinosaurs about to like rip through the city, and they killed that plot element within the first 5 minutes of the movie. And I was like, oh, and then it was about bugs and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm so good. I mean, everyone is wondering like why that franchise is review proof. People like dinosaurs. I don't know.
Yeah,
like that. It seems like that's the case.
I'm included amongst them.
Yeah. All right, our last trailer is it came out today for a movie called Roofman, which I found out is based on a true story. And what a wacky
I remember when these headlines were coming.
I don't remember this at all.
Yeah.
Really?
The guy that was living in Toys R Us. Yeah.
The film is a biopic of the fugitive Jeffrey Manchester, a former United States Army Reserve officer known colloquially as Roofman, due to his propensity to steal from branches of McDonald's after entering their premises via the roof and evaded capture from police by hiding in the wall of a Toys R Us store. That sounds like a movie and not real life, but I guess it did happen. And the cast is pretty stacked: Channing Tatum, Kirsten Dunst, Ben Mendelsohn, Peter Dinklage, Juno Temple, Lakeith Stanfield, Melanie Diaz, and Jimmy O Yang. I mean, I liked the trailer. I just think it was like I wasn't expecting it. Like I don't know how I missed this story in pop culture. I didn't know anything about this whatsoever.
You know how news goes these days. It's instantly replaced by the next thing. But I do remember when this was making headlines. But one thing is, I did not see Juno Temple in this trailer. I don't know where she popped up.
Yeah, I didn't see her in the trailer either. From what I remember, I saw Kristen Dunst, of course, Peter Dinklage.
Yes, he looks like he's really hilarious in this movie.
Yeah, but yeah, it looks good. I mean, like Channing Tatum is at his best in roles like this. Like I think that he kind of is suited for this kind of like offbeat, like almost comedy a bit.
Like Logan Lucky was a good role.
Yeah. I like the trailer. What did you think of the trailer?
I thought it was a super pleasant surprise. Like probably the one I was most interested in this list, only because like we've seen weapons. And I know he did last summer, and Delivery from Nowhere, I guess, would be the other one that I was really intrigued by. Very different movies, but no, I think this one looked awesome. Heartfelt story. Definitely got a little touch of Hollywood in it there, though. I'm sure there's some details that are a little bit.
They're gonna put some pizzazz on it.
Exactly. Yeah. But no, I think it looks honestly really good. One thing I didn't catch is who's making it.
Oh, good question.
Let's find that out.
Derek Cinefrance.
What have you done? What? Oh, he did Blue Valentine.
That's a good.
What else has he done? I did not know he was making this. And he was, I don't know if he still is attached, but at one point
he was doing Place Beyond the Pines.
Place Beyond the Pines is a big one. The Light Between Oceans. He's written a lot as well. But he was at one point slated to do the Wolfman that ended up becoming
the one that we saw earlier this year.
Yes, so he was originally attached to direct with Ryan Gosling. I remember that was something I was looking forward to for a long time because he's a pretty sweet director.
Cool. Well, I'm suddenly more interested now.
Yeah, me too. I had no idea he was doing this.
Good. All right. Well, it looks good. It comes out on October 10th. And my God, we got through all those stories and trailers in 1 hour and 4
That was
minutes.
pretty good.
Good for
Pretty
us.
good pace.
All right, man. Close this on up.
Yes, that wraps it up. I believe, if my math is correct, this would make episode 245 of Back to Blockbuster. We are between all the episodes we have coming out. We do have episode 250 right around the corner, so stay tuned for that. That'll be undoubtedly in the month of July at the pace that we record. So I look forward to that milestone here shortly. Continue to listen to us on your favorite podcast platforms, guys, and make sure you give us a listen on the Playlist Studio app. You can get that on any device that you have on that app store, and give us a listen there. Thank you guys for having us ranked #1 on Good Pods for the film review charts. We appreciate your guys' continued listening and engagement with us on our show, and very excited to give you another couple episodes today. Check out our other 244 episodes on the show wherever you get your podcasts. And Gaius, I will see you in the next one where we hit up the anniversaries for the Batman movies.
Sounds good, buddy. Until then, peace out, guys.